Hey guys, it's Maymay. So I showed you this set last night, and ever since I've had it, I've been thinking, what all can we do with it? Well, I've got a lot of ideas in mind, and today I decided I wanted to try something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but haven't had everything I needed in my Maymay stamp line to do it, but now I think I do. So this is an A2 size card base made with 110-pound Nina white cardstock, and I just scored it down the middle. Now I'm going to fold it and crease that score line really well with my bone folder. Just get it nice and tight. That is going to matter at the end of this card that we're making, so I want to make sure I get that nice and tight. I'm going to do something that I really don't know what to call it. I guess I would call it like free edge card, kind of a loose edge card. There's something I've noticed. A lot of you guys ask me, how do you make cards look professional? Well, one way to do that is to look and see what they're doing out and about in the card making world, right? And something I've noticed out like in Walmart or wherever where I pick up cards, they kind of just break all the rules and they don't really care. So I'm going to kind of break rules today too. This is the little weenie dog from Trixie's Valentine stamp set. This is actually made after my little puppy I had named Trixie. And I'm going to stamp her with some Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I'm going to be coloring with alcohol markers. You guys ask all the time, what ink do you use when you color? Well, I use Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Typically, any Memento ink, you can use that. Like if you wanted to stamp with gray and then color so you have a very faint stamp line, you can do that as well. And just because we're in the Misty, I'm going to ink it again. It really is a good impression. I think I'm going to do it one more time just for the heck of it. Now you have to be a little careful with this because I've got the card folded so it has a little lift to it. So you want to make sure you reset this every time you re-ink a stamp so you don't get kind of a blur. I'm going to put this little guy back up and I will clean it later. Anybody else do that? Full disclosure, I'm not cleaning it right this second. The next thing I'm going to do is from my Alton and Olivia stamp set. I'm going to take this little winking owl and I'm going to let it live on the back of Trixie here, just like it's landed right on Trixie's big old long back. I think it's super cute. So I'm just going to put that there and then close the Misty door and pick it up. Then I'm going to ink it with that same ink. And then we'll have a little owl on top of Trixie. And I know proportion is not 100% correct, but again, we're breaking rules. We don't care today. We're doing some different stuff. Look how cute that is. Again, pretty good impression, but I'm going to do it again just because I can, and I can get a little darker line there. Just like so. Look how cute already. All right, we're taking the owl off, and now I'm going to go into my stamp set that I haven't used in a while. That's called Birdie Says, and I'm going to use one of these birds. Actually, I'm going to use two of these birds. I'm using the medium and the small bird. So this is the medium bird, and I'm just going to kind of nestle this little bird right kind of in the middle of the little owl head and pick that one up and ink it. You guys have seen these before. This is nothing new. This is like totem pole stamping, and it's super cute. But I don't think my Maymay set has had enough critters for us to do this up until this point. And now I wanted to show you how you can do it with what you've got in your stash. The last one I'm going to use is this little teeny tiny bird from that set. And I'm just going to let that one nest on top of the other one and pick it up. I think this will be cute. Ink. Stamp. I'm going to do it again because I didn't get that beat good. That's because I got quick. Did you see me get kind of fast? Let me make sure I ink it up well. Sit that down. Get that beak really well. Perfect. I love how that looks. Now, we can put the Misty aside. Don't worry. I'll get that stamp off and clean it when I clean the other ones. So, remember how I told you we were going to break some rules? We're going to. I think first I'm going to color, then we'll break the rule. All right, so I'm going to lay this out in color. So I'm going to color with the Colorista markers. I'm going to use set 5 because it's got a great brown in it, and I'm going to use set 6 because I like these bright colors. So let's start with the brown, and the color is Umber, and I'm going to do my weenie dog kind of dark brown. Now, I'm not doing any fancy coloring. I'm just going to color. So what I'll do is I will color, but I will fast forward so you guys can watch me color. And then I'll come back after everything's colored. I want to show you guys this. So I didn't like how dark my little weenie dog was. So I went in and got my colorless blender out of my Spectrum Noir set. And I just am coming in and kind of lightening her up. But you have to be careful not to get too close to the edge because this pen is not actually erasing. It's just kind of breaking down the ink underneath it, kind of pushing it into the fibers of the paper. And if you push it too much, it'll bleed out. So I don't want to do that. I just wanted to lighten it up a little bit. And I might even come back with a lighter color brown and kind of blend it out. So I'm not going to stress about, sometimes we make a mistake on things, but I'm going to try to fix it. And if not, I'll just restamp the whole thing. Now, you probably saw this coming. I'm going to use this Emboss It pen, and I'm going to emboss some areas on here and make them clear. So like the eyes, the collar, the things I want to shine, their beaks and things like that. So first, I use my anti-static powder tool. That's what that little powder puff was. And now I'm going to come in, and anywhere I want to be shiny, I'm going to color with this Emboss It marker. And then my embossing powder will stick to this, and I'll get shiny and instantly dry results, which I like because now you can do this with other things. Of course, you can do this with glossy accents. You can use this with triple thick even. You can do this with a lot of things. But I want to get that instant dry, so I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do the collar. And what else do I want? Did I do this beak? I did. Eyes are done. Okay, I can always go back and do more. Now I'm just going to use some clear embossing powder. And I'm going to drip this over, and it will only stick to where I did the coloring because I used that powder puff to stop it from going anywhere else. And I want to make sure I got that little beak. I think I did. Now it's really important to turn your heat tool on first and let it heat up before you use it straight to the card. That having some heat on it will help it to keep from warping as bad. So now you'll see we've got some shiny eyes, a shiny collar, some shiny little beaks, which are teeny tiny and hard to see. This is where I'm going to utilize some of my scrap. On the back of this page, you can see that the coloring has come through. If you have a paper that doesn't bleed through, I think someone told me that the Gina K Pure Luxury brand does not bleed through, so check that out. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a piece of scrap from my collection. This is just a piece of scrap paper that matches the coloring I did on the front. And I'm going to glue this down here. And I'm not going to worry about it hanging off the edge or anything. I'll show you in a minute why none of that's going to matter. So I'm just taking some art glitter glue, and I'm going to glue this page down. Now I'm being generous with the glue. I'm probably being overly generous, but the idea is I want to make sure that everywhere this piece is, it sticks nicely. Now, one thing I'm doing, and I'm going to show you here, the score line is right here. I'm not going all the way to the score line. I'm just coming in a little bit because I don't want this to be too thick when I go to fold it. And this is why I wanted to glue as much of the page as I could, because we're going to trim out. And I want to make sure that everywhere this page is, it is glued down. So when I start to trim, I don't have to worry about it falling away. All right, remember Breakin rules? Here's where we're going to do it. I'm going to take my scissors. You have to be brave, okay? And I'm going to start right here beside the little puppy dog. And I'm going to start to trim away in kind of a rough fashion, just using the edge of the puppy, the edge of the birds as my guide. I'm not trying to be perfect. You don't have to go all the way in anywhere. You don't have to trim out specifically. Just turn the page and let it kind of curl around everybody. Now, if you see that you're having trouble getting into anywhere you want to get into, and this page is in your way, just cut it away. We're not going to be using this side. Can you believe what we're doing? What in the world is happening, right? Is that what you're thinking? All right, when I get to the top, I'm going to take this and I'm going to curve it up all the way to the score line. Now, here's what's important here. I want to cut this score line away. I don't want to leave any of that score line showing. So I'm cutting away back to where I did my little angle cut, okay? Now you're like, what have you done to this card? Look, we have a nice finished back, okay? And then we're gonna lay this down and we're gonna crease it down again so it will lay nice and flat. Now you might have to do some work because we did emboss it and we did kind of warp it. So I'm gonna mess with it a little bit and get it to lay down nice and snug. And if it doesn't lay down great, it's not that big of a deal. So here's the beginnings of our kind of breaking the rules card. Now I wanna round the corners. So I'm taking my corner chomper on the 1/2 inch side and I'm going around every corner and I'm going to round it. This just kind of brings some more of that professional look in. A lot of times when you see cards, you'll see that they have the rounded corners, and I think that's super cute. Now look what we got. Isn't this cute so far? Okay, what are we going to do to dress it up? Probably going to have to mess with this a good bit to get this to lay nice and flat. Okay, now I'm going to stamp in this area, and that's going to be the card. If you want to write on it, here's where we're breaking the rules. We can write underneath this area if you want to write a little note. But for here, I want to stamp a sentiment. So I'm going to use another one of my stamp sets. This one's called Just to Say Hello. And I'm going to use the hello sentiment. I'm going to place it here and see where I want it to go. I think something like this. I might even go angled. Let me open this up. Hello. And then what do I want it to say? So I'm going to use the hello stamp, and I'm also going to use the one from the owl set that says From Owl of Us. I think it'll be cute. It makes sense because there's an owl on the front, and it'll look something like that. So I'm going to put this in the Misty to stamp it in case I need to stamp it twice. So I'm going to put a magnet on to hold it down and also hold that piece down for me. So I don't have to even worry about that little half cut piece. Those magnets are going to hold it in place. So now I'm going to take my hello and put it here. Pick it up with the Misty. Forgot that little bird on there, didn't I? All right, so let's pick up hello. And now I'm going to use some color ink to kind of make it pop. I'm going to use this Memento Tangelo. I think this will be pretty, and it'll match kind of the orange of the little owl's tummy, which I think is cute. So I'm probably going to stamp this on a couple of times, and that's why I want to go back to the Misty so I can get a nice impression. So there's one time. So do you see it's a little splotchy, so I'm going to do it again. I've been known to do these 3 times. I'll tell you what I don't do. I don't press real hard and kind of make a mess. I just kind of let the ink touch and saturate in. And if I need to do another one, I will. I really don't need to do that again. It looks nice. So I'm going to put this guy up. Now I'm going to bring over From Owl of Us and put it on a little angle. And I think I'll stamp it in maybe a dark brown. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to use rich cocoa. I think it'll be cute to kind of bring some of the brown from the puppy in and not do quite black. I'm just playing and breaking all the rules today. I'm doing whatever I want to do, and that's sometimes just super fun. Another thing I decided to do is bring my white pen over, and I'm going to put some little stitch lines and things, and they may not be all stitch lines. I may just do some stitches and a couple of dots here and there just to add a little bit of pizzazz to our little animals. I even did a little dot of white in the little blacks of the eyes just to give it, you know, a little pop, just kind of wake it up a little bit. Kind of imagine you're kind of highlighting with this color. It's kind of fun to do it like that. So just a little something. I apologize for my camera going crooked. I don't know when that happened. I hope it didn't ruin everything, but I'm going to keep going. Now I'm going to do some black stitch lines around the card. Now this may be a little more than you want to take on, but I love the way stitch lines look. And I think when we have a lot of white space like this, that it looks really pretty. So I'm just going to take my time and go around the card and do some stitch lines. So there it is, guys, playing outside the box, not following the rules. You can do that too. Anytime you want to try something, just try it. I want to encourage you to just try it. This may not be your favorite card you ever make, but you know what? It was super fun to try something new, right? So there you go, playing outside the box. I think it turned out cute, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. We don't do perfection. We're crafters. We have fun, and we try new things. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. Talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.